U15 level, the visiting True North against the home team Blue Army. Now first, the starting lineups for the visiting team True North. Starting goal, number 44, Nolan Ostra. Starting on defense, number 62, Ben Spaniard. And number 49, Peter Mulder. Starting on the wings, number 6, Cameron Bollinger. And number 63, Harper X. Starting at center for True North, number 10, Zach Stalker. Now please welcome the rest of True North. True North is coached by Morgan Hotel Josh Arnold. Now the starting lineup for Blue Army, starting goal, number 33, Liam Seaback. Starting on defense, number 67, Kyle Hankey. And number 7, Grant Daler. Starting on the wings, number 77, McAllister Dose. And number 4, Hunter Webster. And starting at center for Blue Army, number 93, Ryan Endor. Let's welcome the rest of the Army. The Blue Army is coached by Sean Erickson. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask that you stand as you are able. Please remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
It's a great day for hockey here in Bloomington, Minnesota, as we have got the 2019 Western States Invitational U15 Championship game. It's the highest level here at the Western States Invitational, and because of it, we add a couple extra minutes on, 17-minute periods at this division. And Blue Army, the top seed, they were able to breeze through pool play with a 3-0 record. True North, 2-1, defeating everyone but this Blue Army squad. And these two are ready to settle this for a championship. On the left side of the ice, going from left to right, are Blue Army in their white uniforms with blue numerals and red trim. They'll feed it to Andor. Andor fires a shot. Big save made right out of the gate by Nolan Astrup, wearing 44 for The True North squad tested at the other end is Liam Seebeck. Seebeck with Kyle Henke in front of him on right defense, Grant Daylor on left defense, Ryan Andor centering the top line, Webster on the right, and left wing McAllister Doze. Ben Spanier and Peter Mulder make up the defensive pairing for True North. They're just making a change now, but it was Zach Stocker centering Harper Benson, Cameron Bollinger. True North in the gray uniforms, red numerals outlined in white, and they are tipped off at the end by navy blue. In their defensive end, True North looking for a defensive zone face-off win, 15:46 remaining in the opening period. True North defeated Sioux Falls Power 4-1, and My Edge last night to get into this championship game 9-0. Sandwiched in between that was a loss to this Blue Army squad by a score of 6-1. Blue Army. That was the closest game that they had. And their final game of pool play, they defeated My Edge by a score of 10-3 and shut out Sioux Falls Power 11-0. Led offensively by Ryan Andor in goals and points with 5 and 9. His 4 assists tie the team lead with Ben Portner and Cooper McClure. Ty Ticido slides it over from left to right. Can't connect there. Laying down the pillows in anticipation of a shot was Seebeck. Never came through. Then sticks the glove out. This one goes up and over. And backing up is True North's Connor McLaughlin. McLaughlin jousting there with Ticido. Pressuring was Connor McClure trying to create a turnover. They'll settle for the puck rolling all the way down in a play for Henke. However, Henke with pressure over his left shoulder quickly gets rid of it, sends it down the length of the ice. And we have got an icing call with 14:07 to play. There was a resurfacing just before this. A pad save by the netminder. So we will play the first 2 periods back-to-back, just 60 seconds between them, and we'll have a longer break in front of the third period. Here, an interesting decision with his own defenseman, Holden Zinda, at the side. A lot of times netminders will let that one go, play it behind the cage, and have them avoid a defensive zone face-off. He elects to freeze it with some pressure coming from True North. Netminder plays that around. True North gets to it first, Zinda. Then able to get it ahead, and now it's McAllister Dose. Slamming on the brakes was Eli Miller. Miller coming in from the right wing side. Spanier tries to get it up. That won't work. Spanier has that one knocked away by Miller. Centering pass, throwing it towards the net. Off of his glove and held onto by the goaltender. And we get a whistle here with 13:07 remaining in the period. Thrown to the point. A shot attempt blocked. That was Grant Daylor, starting left defenseman for Blue Army. Chipped by Jack Arnold. And then upended behind the play was Henke. Henke back on his skates. Pass intended for him. Daylor sent it a little bit too far out of his reach. Missing on the attempt there was Dominic Hauer. 2 goals and 5 points through the first 3 games, all in pool play. Webster comes back and catches up with the man who'd gotten around him. Puck sitting there in the slot for a moment, thought that maybe Alderson was going to get to it in time. Webster gains the zone and backhands it around Arnold. Collision of bodies there. And now checking over his shoulder a couple of times is Jack Bartfield. Backhand pass made up top by Ashton Collings. Swept around and Zinda involved in the play from the right point. Thrown towards the net. That caroms off a body before it ever gets there and well off the mark. Not sure it was on target to begin with. Certainly wasn't after that contact. Rising shot that took a deflection off of the stick of Peters, the initial shot, and gloved by Seebeck. He'll gladly take the whistle with 11:24 to play. Scoreless first period. Thanks for joining us here on Youth Hockey Hub, broadcasting this Western States Invitational. Slipping around one man, Carter Krenke can't get around the second. Throws one out front. Net comes well off as Jacob Hoylo was the intended target in the slot, looking for a deflection. Don't think he got a piece of it. If he did, it didn't do any damage as far as changing the direction of that centering pass. 11-11. When the puck is dropped into the offensive zone, and save made by the netminder, and Blue Army taking exception to the check there to see if that had come free. Off the face-off, controlled by True North, Peter Mulder plays it deep. And Tucito spun around, shot blocked in the lane. Now with it is Krenke. Krenke tries to fight off a man, centering pass, and knocked over by the contact of starting right defenseman Peter Mulder. Into the offensive zone goes Blue Army. Bodies collide. And another check thrown there on the half wall. We're going to have a tripping penalty on the way as Blue Army goes on the man advantage with 10 minutes and 19 seconds left to go. And it looks like the guilty party is True North's Peter Mulder. So not quite 7 minutes gone by here. No even strength scoring. True North will see if they can't get things going on the man advantage. They find a man back door, snapping a shot. The official quick to duck his head and avoid taking that one off the side of the helmet. Daler, straightaway center, feeds it to the right. Skirting around the cage is Henke. Now Daler to that spot from the right circle. Gloved by the goaltender. Astrup with confidence. He holds on and affords his team an opportunity to get a change. And initially looked like they were just going to change the forwards, but not a bad idea. 36 seconds gone by in the power play opportunity. They get 4 fresh bodies out onto the ice. Shot blocked by the shin guard for True North. That was Nolan Nenow coming up with a stop. He had a couple of goals in that 9-0 victory over My Edge. An even strength and a power play tally, and if memory serves me correct, they were concurrent goals for True North. Into the offensive zone is Hunter Webster. Webster has Daler joining the party late, too late to feed him. Just inside the blue line. They'll cycle. And now here's Daler. Daler throwing one on. The initial idea was to see if they couldn't feed that to Cooper McClure in tight. He had his stick lifted, defended well. That came out to Daler. Daler threw one on and looked like it was going to hit the left pad, but the netminder Astrup able to get his glove down in time and prevent a rebound. Also, again, so critical here on penalty kills. If the goaltender can freeze the puck, allows his teammates an opportunity to get a change. Sent over, and this will be stolen away. Looked like for a second we were going to have a shorthanded break for Collings, but a nice recovery by the defenseman. Now it'll be sent down the length of the ice. On target, will go down as a shot on goal. Out of the box is True North's Peter Mulder, and we skate 5-on-5. They'll say that Spanier could have touched that one, so icing waved off. Spanier had the first goal, what ended up being the game winner in that 9-0 victory against My Edge, which in essence was a play-in game. My Edge and True North both having lost to Blue Army, but defeating the Sioux Falls Power in pool play. So with identical records of 1-1, the winner of that game last night at 6 o'clock here on Rink 1 got a rematch with Blue Army here in the championship. And as I started out that broadcast saying, it was True North with the tiebreaker, so had that one ended even, thanks to goal differential, they would have advanced. They certainly didn't need it, as it ended up being a 9-0 score. Peters was headed off for a change where we've got a penalty behind the play. Thought about popping back on for a moment as he saw a puck loose in the offensive zone. Instead, a teammate coming off the bench was able to keep that in the zone. 6:46, and True North able to get that touch up. So Seebeck heads back to the crease, and into the box for True North is Caleb Alderson. Alderson with a goal in pool play. The top of the left circle, Blue Army goes back onto the man advantage. Bartfield tries to get a shot through traffic, can't. This one just missing the edge of the crease and rolling into the corner. 30 seconds gone by on the penalty. And Alderson still in the box, and now some pushing and shoving after the whistle as Cranky tried to jar that loose. Bollinger quickly after him. I always find it interesting that everyone, forwards, defensemen, all skaters, will take exception to the opposition poking at their goalie. However, they'll tend to do it themselves and also stick up for their teammates that did it at the other end. This is a blocker save by the netminder. It's almost as if all hockey teams' mantras is, do as we say. We're not necessarily going to do that ourselves. Firing off the mark is Bartfield. He'll get another opportunity here. Elects instead to outlet over to Doze. Low shot and kicked away from a skate before it ever got to netminder Astrup. Zinda now from the right circle, and that was blocked out front. Might have been friendly fire. I think that might have hit off of Cranky. firing a shot just into the N logo of True North on the goalie sweater of Astrup. And he's able to hold on and get the whistle with 5:20 remaining here in our first period. Congratulations go out to Minnesota Fire winning the 12U Gold Division Championship. We saw them the game prior to this knock off Great Plains 5-2, battle of two unbeaten teams, and not just unbeaten, but perfect teams, all with wins, not needing to settle for a draw to remain undefeated. Both 4-0 going into the game, and Minnesota Fire remaining perfect. 5-0 record, 5-2 the final score of that one, as they were able to come away with the championship. Head coach Jesse Ramirez of that squad. Sean Erickson calling shots for Blue Army True North, coached by Marty Mertel and Josh Arnold. Wrapped around the boards, Daler looks over his shoulder. He is pressured by Spanier, trying to bob and weave through a phone booth. Now with it, upended was Eli Miller. And holding the call with 3:58 has been a parade to the True North penalty box, the third penalty in the game, all three against the visitors. And once again, their penalty kill will be tested, and for the second time, it's Caleb Alderson to serve the penalty. Firing a shot, getting back up. Webster picks it up, Bartfield misses, although I believe that was aided off target by a player in the slot. Zinda back to Bartfield. Has a man in tight. Webster goes off the side of the net, makes the twine dangle, but from the outside. Bartfield feeds it back over to Cito. Whistled that one off the mark. Bartfield gives chase, doing battle with his numerical counterpart, and gets around Peters. He'll come up the left wing side. Handoff. Another pass, as that would settle down for Hoylo. And the netminder comes up with a stop. Impressive that got through. Spanier battling with Hankey. And I thought that was going to go off of Spanier and into the corner. That somehow was able to flutter on net. And not sure if it was great reflexes or just a positional save, but the netminder comes up with it. Nice job there on the right side defensively. They poke it away. Otherwise, for a split second, a yawning net looming for Blue Army. Daler fires one on. And to say that Nolan Astrup has been the most impressive player to this point in the game for either side is an understatement. He has been under a barrage of not just shots, but opportunities. Sometimes the team doesn't get a shot on goal, but does get a good look, and sometimes they don't get a shot on goal because they see, well, the netminder's got that area covered. No point in shooting if there's no opening. And good, solid goaltending can sometimes lead to less shots because you know that the netminder is strong, and that's not something that is going to beat him. Coming out of the box and immediately heading over to the bench is Alderson. Shot blocked, looking to get it out. Second whack and clearing it free, Harper Bentz. Backing up is Daler. Daler, long pass, doesn't connect, gathered by Connor McLaughlin. Chipped up and backhanded deep. Dawson McCann. He'll go after it. Dose. It's knocked down by Mason Reynolds. Kicking at it on the near side, right in front of the benches. Tipped ahead, and Dawson McCann can't get to it. Here's Bartfield. And that one will hit the rafter and come right back down with 63 seconds remaining in our opening period. Don't want to jinx anything from the goaltenders, but unless there's a change, it'll be an easy scoring summary, as neither side has yet to find the score sheet. We're going to have a whistle here, and it looks like offside the call, as that one just jumped over the line. 58.8 remaining. This game getting underway at 10:30, 12:15. The slated start time of our next championship game. That'll be the U14 Gold Division championship game. Into the offensive zone, no problem for Seebeck, and don't want you to think that we forgot about him, but with the 3 straight penalties against True North, Seebeck hasn't been tested in the last several minutes. That U14 Gold Division game will see the younger version of this Blue Army squad taking on the Green Bay Junior Gamblers. Shot through traffic, player knocked down, trying to pop it in on the backhand. Cranky. They get caught up in the legs of Zinda, 17 seconds left. Cranky uses the boards, caroms it over to Bartfield. That's stolen away now, an opportunity in the closing seconds. They pass it ahead as they had 2 up top, but couldn't get that over to Nenau or Reynolds. And the netminder will hold it there and sees where the clock is at. He will let it go in front of him to avoid the whistle and end period number 1. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds. You're watching the 2019 Western States Invitational right here on Youth Hockey Hub. $17 minutes up on the board, and taking the second period face-off. Hoylo for Blue Army, Collings for True North. Blue Army in the white, blue numerals, red trim, going from right to left here in our middle period. In gray, red numerals outlined in white trim. At the very bottom of the jersey, a little bit of navy blue at the back, are True North. True North come in with a record of 2-1. Their lone loss coming to this Blue Army squad. Blue Army, perfect in pool play with a record of 3-0. into the zone, keeping it there, and hitting the post was Miller. I believe the netminder got a piece of it to just guide it onto the post. And we'll have a whistle here. It looks like offsides, the indication. Just 48 seconds into our second period. Again, we will have an ice resurfacing in between periods 2 and 3, so they're an opportunity to get up, stretch your legs, perhaps run to the restroom or run to the kitchen as needs be. Opening minute of action, and both teams with opportunities early as Blue Army kiss one off the post and then fire a shot on there, gloved by Astrup, and he holds on. At the other end, not a shot, but a dangerous puck thrown into the crease. Swatted at and just couldn't get enough of it to put it on target. Backhanding it up, not out, was Bollinger. Bartfield plays that from center to left. Touched in by Dose, and it allows his squad to touch up and then enter the zone. Inadvertent friendly fire. McLaughlin looking for a clearance that actually goes off the helmet of Bentz. Seemed fine. Didn't indicate that that hurt, just looked around confused as to where that one had gone to. Going up and over and scoring, barred down, is Blue Army's Dominic Hauer. Hauer's third in the tournament. It's his 6th point. And just 2 minutes into period number 2, it's a 1-0 lead for Blue Army. Astrup down in the butterfly, occupying all space except a sliver on the short side, about the size of a puck. Basically at that point, Astrup saying, there's the target. If you can hit it, my hat's off to you. And that's exactly what Howard did. And the lone assist to Ryan Andor, that'll get him to double digits. 5 and 5 for 10 reads his stat line. Howard, 3 and 3 for 6, 14:30 left. And kudos given to Liam Seebeck after making that stop. The other way, Cooper McClure taking the draw for Blue Army. And loose puck, loose no more, as it is gathered by Blue Army. Stick lift coming a little high on Carter Cranky, but not enough to warrant the whistle. Cranky waits for his teammate to get back onside. That was McClure, then given the green light, pressures, and it creates a turnover. Cranky. Now chopping at it out of mid-air was McClure. True North. Finish off a check. Sent over to the left side, and Bartfield wraps it around. Sent out front, can't connect there. Poked at, that'll keep it alive. True North using an 8-iron, able to go high off the glass, almost into the penalty box area. And now with it is Connor McClure. McClure dangles, but leaves it there. Defended well, Alderson. And True North looking to exit the zone, can't quite yet. And the shot offering by Zinda deflects off a stick, up and over everybody. Getting to it first is True North's Jack Arnold. Alderson. And it's off the mark. We will have a whistle here with 12:38 to play. Face off to the right of the netminder for True North, Zach Stocker. Shot from the right point, and now quickly having to get back and defend is Mulder. He is there in time as he quickly turns from offense to defense and needed otherwise. There were two coming in. Big collision there. And for True North, laying the hit was Bollinger. I don't think he was planning on that. There was a player between the eyesight of him and his opposition. I think at the last second, the curtain was drawn and it revealed an oncoming player. And defensively, that was all Bollinger had to do. And I think we're going to have offsetting penalties here. That seems to be the case for True North. It's Zach Stocker, Eli Miller in the box for Blue Army. And the face-off comes to center ice as the infractions taking place while the puck was in the neutral zone. Chip down, and the official happy of that as Bartfield able to hit it out of mid-air. Looked like it was going to potentially hit the referee. Nenow helps get it out of the zone. 11:23 left in the period. The penalties to Miller and Stocker, offsetting roughing calls. Bartfield puts that, if not on target, darn close. I think that was either in or potentially hitting the post. Coming back the other way, blocker save. Denied was Dawson McCann. Left-handed shot now sets up out front. They try to get it through traffic and over to him. Can't. This is lifted out and spinning, dumped back in. At the point is McLaughlin. Getting to the red line. Chipped in. Stolen away by Ryan Andor. And this one sent up and out of play. Everyone taking cover. Andor, I had mentioned, came in with a team lead in goals, points, tied for the team lead in assists, tied no longer as he has the lone helper on the Dominic Bauer goal. 5 goals, just as many assists for 10 points. And first player at the U15 level, the 2019 Western States Invitational, to reach double digits, maybe, when all is said and done, the only player to reach that. I would imagine that is going to be the case, as we've got a shot off the mark, whistling wide. Brought in by Peters. Peters firing and missing on the short side as the netminder and shooter see it. The far side for us here. Set up broadcasting. Brought in by Collings. Collings with Peters waiting at the line and looks to send it that way. Unable to connect. 9:16 to play. On target. And the netminder will cover up and freeze the puck. Miller, as well as Stocker, out of the box, with coincidental minors having to wait not only the 2 minutes, but then a whistle to stop action. 9:12 to play, and Blue Army clinging to a 1-goal lead. This one up and over the backboard into the netting and then slipped behind. Shots 8-4 in that first period in favor of Blue Army. And again, I talked about Nolan Astrup having a fantastic start, fantastic game to this point, and surprised, honestly, that it was just 8 shots that he saw. But again, that goes to talk about how good his goaltending is sometimes when you've got a goalie that's a little bit shaky, the opposition's plan is simple. Let's get as many pucks on target as possible. Not even necessarily on target, just into the crease. Make it a precarious spot for the goalie, and shots aplenty. As this is on, and a right shoulder save by the netminder, who then had to cover up. Seebeck with that rebound control and glove after the shot went off his right shoulder on the offering from Bollinger. Perhaps the best series that we've seen him play to this point. Getting back to my point earlier, Astrup probably would have seen double-digit shots had he looked a little shakier. The Blue Army side realizing they were going to need to get a little tricky and go with some more high-level, creative scoring opportunities. And again, as this one will be played the length of the ice and not able to get there in time, is True North's Dawson McCann. With 3 power play opportunities in the first period, and at times Blue Army able to just set up shop in the offensive third of the ice. Would not have been surprised if they had reached double digits. Here's Daler, hands off, Dose, inside. They try to get it back to Dose, and they get enough to get it out of the zone and more. Drop pass by McCann. That offering blocked and in. Andor tries almost to pick the same spot, a little bit different angle, in tighter. That the lone goal has been scored, and we're going to have a penalty. And Dose looking around going, you can't be calling me for that, can you? Indeed, 77 in the box for a trip. We've reached over the halfway point of regulation. That came at the 8:30 mark. 7:33 left in this second period. Discussion about where this faceoff will take place. As it was at neutral ice, looked like they were going to put it outside True North's blue line. And they will confer. Officials want to make sure they get it right. And they'll bring it all the way down into the defensive end of Blue Army. So True North, half the battle done already. They're in position. They need possession. They do win the faceoff. Takes a carom off the official. True North gets tangled up here. Here's McClure. McClure feeds it over, and scoring a shorthanded goal is Eli Miller. Cooper McClure set the table perfectly, and Miller's coming to dinner. 7 minutes, 14 seconds remaining in our second period. And this goes to show the defensive prowess. But believe it or not, I believe this is now 7th broadcast of this tournament. It's the first shorthanded goal I've broadcasted. So Cooper McClure with the lone assist. Eli Miller's goal. His second in the tournament, and not to take anything away from McClure, Miller, or the Blue Army squad, but they did catch a break in that there were a couple of players tangled up, one hitting the ice, and part of the reason that was sparked. Here's another opportunity. Coming in, Hoylo feeds it over. On the receiving end is Hauer, and it wouldn't settle on his stick, but Hauer will just take that and tries to dump it all the way down. Got way too much elevation, and that one hitting off the rafters above at neutral ice. So we're going to have a face-off at center ice. 45 seconds left until Doze comes out of the box, and if this score holds up, he'll come out of the box with a larger lead for his squad than when he went in. True North now setting up on the man advantage. Kept away. A shot blocked by Spanier. Excuse me, that was Hankey. Calling for it at the point and receiving it is McLaughlin. Back, McLaughlin. Shot blocked by McClure. As it's Connor McClure who got the shin guard on that one. Stocker wakes up to find a puck between his legs as he wasn't able to track it at first, but patiently waiting and letting that slip through. Here's McClure. Throws it towards the net. Trying to tuck it in from the side is Tucito. Ty Tucito. Then involved in a little corner ice introductions. Sure, they're just probably discussing different areas in the metro you can go eat at. Into the corner, and weight thrown around by Tucito. Looked like a possible break for Nenau, and as soon as he was able to get in the offensive zone, had that knocked away. Here's Andor. Andor. And absorbs a check. Slowed down, but stays on his feet. That's poked away and looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1, but making a play at the last minute, it was Holden Zinda. Zinda pinching in, and the last man there from preventing an odd man rush for True North, and gets the job done. Drive and a pad save. Fed out front, pulled over, and somehow denied on the wraparound. Won't be. It's Blue Army's Ryan Andor. Look like from the goaltender's right. No. It looks like they're waving it off. The net had come loose. Ryan Andor looked like he was going to get a forehand goal from the goaltender's right. And sliding over was Kyle Abrahamson. He was able to knock that away. And then in the process, net comes off its moorings. He slides over to his left. And the backhand effort by Blue Army's leading scorer, Ryan Andor, goes in, but the net had been dislodged. And so the score remains 2-0. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in our second period. Again, we will have a longer break than the 60 seconds between periods 1 and 2, as there will be a resurfacing from the ZAM. A hand pass called there as True North's Alderson tries to plead his case that he whiffed on it before Collings got to it. I think he might have an argument, but it won't matter. Collings will take the draw outside his blue line. And Dose trying to pounce on a loose puck. It was kicked away from him and dumped into the offensive zone, giving chase. True North. Tapping at it, Alderson. Slipping around pressure. Here's McClure, brought in by the goal scorer, Cooper McClure. Or excuse me, he had the assist on that most recent goal. It was Miller that came away with the tally. Bartfield gathers, Dose turns up ice. McClure had his head up in a good thing as he was in the sights of Jack Arnold. Into the offensive zone, Alderson with it. Not how he was planning on getting it to Peters, but it works for a pass, and then the defense coming back for Blue Army. They're able to stymie that bid. Kept in the zone. Flung towards the net. And Blue Army. Fantastic job by Stocker. He broke up an odd man rush the other way. Could have been a 3-on-1. Keeping it in the zone is Spanier. They'll bank a pass ahead. And a great feather pass as it was saucered over by Jacob Hoylo and looked like it was going to be an assist, but the shot goes up and over. And again, credit Abrahamson for getting down and occupying a ton of real estate. Zinda has that one poked away. Here's a 2-on-1 developing. In with it, True North. The shot blocked. Bullinger came up with it, and Seebeck able to chest it away. Zinda feeds it over to the right side. And another opportunity here for True North. It's Bentz. Bentz left with a cage that was daring him to shoot at it. He did, and the Blue Army player laying down out front and then gloved by Seebeck. Couple of good scoring looks for True North, and both the netminder and his defense helping out. And going back to that first 2-on-1 opportunity and the stop by Seebeck, too often you'll see a netminder can't get their blocker or glove on it on time, can't get their stick on it, but they know it's going to hit their body. They're passive. In other words, this is going to come to me. I'm just going to wait here. Seebeck was aggressive there, and he didn't wait for the puck to come to him. He came to it. He initiated the contact, and that was one of the reasons that the rebound control was as solid as it was. Can't always rely on your glove and blockers. Sometimes you've got to come out and use whatever you can to not just make the stop, but try to force that puck away. Minute left in period number 2. 2-0. Blue Army on top. Couple of second period goals. Even strength from Bauer, shorthanded by Miller. Into the offensive zone from the left side. Nenow, and slides it over, and it's tapped in. Nenow with a great give and go. 43.5 left in period number 2, and True North cut the lead to 2-1. We'll call time of the goal. 16 minutes and 13 seconds. Peter Mulder picks up the lone assist on the Nenow goal. For Nenow, that is his team-leading third of the tournament. Excuse me, tied for team lead along with Zach Stocker. What a hat trick in that 9-0 victory over My Edge last evening. The clock will expire before Matt Peters is able to get a shot off, but Striking late, True North makes it a 1-goal game going into the decisive third period. 2-1 here at this U15 championship game. Blue Army on top of True North. We will take a step away from the action, and we'll be back with the conclusion here on Youth Hockey Hub. 17 minutes up on the clock, and Blue Army clinging to a 2-1 lead. They're in white, blue numerals, red trim, going from left to right. Jerseys look like an Air Force theme, very Top Gun-esque, and they are called for icing here. Just 14 seconds into our third period. True North in gray, red numerals outlined in white, a little bit of navy blue at the very bottom back of the jersey, traveling from right to left. They picked up a goal late in that second period. Nolan Nenow from Peter Mulder, 16-13 time of the goal in the second. That cut into the lead right now. As it stands, the game decisive goal is Eli Miller's, a shorthanded tally at 9:46 of the second period from Cooper McClure. Dominic Bauer got the scoring started in the second period. The 2-minute mark from Ryan Ander. Thrown on and held onto by the netminder, Kyle Abrahamson. With 58 seconds expired here in the third. The draw will come to the glove side of Abrahamson. Looking for a champion here in the U15 division, the oldest division of the 2019 Western States Invitational. My name's Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play. Greg Tinty, our camera operator, engineer, and producer. I want to thank you for joining us on this Youth Hockey Hub production. True North chips it out of the zone, gives chase. Will not get there in time. Brought back in. A drive, and it was kicked out with authority by Abrahamson. At the other end, looking over his shoulder, was Seebeck. True North goes D to D. Gets out of the zone. It's sent right back in by Zinda. He gives chase and gets tangled up. And Peters on the feed from Collings. Into the offensive zone, into the slot. And Peters with a good look on, coming up with the stop, Liam Seebeck. I want to thank our sponsors for this Western States Invitational, including Map South Hockey, found online at mapsouth.hockey, and the highest quality pizza, including the Lots of Matza Brew Pub Pizza, online at brewpubpizza.com. You can also find them at Brew Pub Pizza, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Slowed down, but still on the puck, and will reverse sides. Initially True North trying to get out up the right wing side. Eventually find their escape on the left side. And it takes an odd carom and actually heads just to the side of the net, trying to peek out front and playing the role of the whack-a-mole player. The True North side quickly gets it away from out front. They will be called for an icing, send it all the way down with 13:43 left in regulation. Have to differentiate. During pool play, we would have said how much time is left of the game. How much time is left in regulation should these teams end the 51 minutes of play allotted for them even. We would have a continuous running clock, 4-on-4 session for 3 minutes, then 3-minute continuous rolling clock of 3-on-3, and then would eventually decide a champion in a shootout if it were to get to that. On the forecheck, Bollinger. And it's set up by Dose. Dose, bobbing, weaving, started out on the right side and got to the left by the time he reached the midpoint of the circle. Gloved out of the air, a la Danielson and the chopsticks, just snatched. 12:48 left in the third, and this draw will come to Abrahamson's blocker side. Right off of the draw. Not sure if that was an intended shot or pass, but either way, Jacob Hoylo made True North fans nervous for a moment. Finishing off a check was to Cito as he leveled a True North player right in front of his own bench. Netminder came up with the stop from in tight and looking to punch that one away. It was just out of his reach. It's an awkward spot to be in when you know as the goaltender you are positionally sound. There's really nothing you can do but just hold your frame and wait for it to come to you. There, Netminder laying down the foundation early as the shot caromed in and then off of Abrahamson, cleaned up in the slot. Cranky, pestered by Spanier, still able to gain the zone and then loses possession. Now it's Hauer. The other way, Dominic Hauer. And into the offensive zone, Miller. And this one goes out of play on the deflection. 11:17 left in period number 3. I want to also thank Little Locker Room, a family-owned business here in the state of Minnesota. You can find them at littlelockerroom.com. McGregor Moose Lake Insurance Agency, another supporter of the 2019 Western States Invitational. True North looking for the equalizer here in the third period. Swinging at that midair was Peters, unable to connect with it. Both teams trading 9 shots and picking up 1 goal in those 9 shots in period number 2. After the 8 they started with, Blue Army totaling 17 after 2 periods were complete. 13 for True North as they were held to just 4 in the opening 17 minutes. Peters slams on the break, changes directions, leaves it out front, and nearly created something there. And we have got a penalty behind the play, and it's going to be Hauer. Now getting the word as he's 1 leg over the boards. Tries to plead his case. And as we all know, it's not going to be successful. 10 minutes, 3 seconds left in regulation. And now an opportunity for True North with a man advantage, trying to capitalize and get this game evened up. 1 back to Arnold. Stocker. That kicks over through the center. And then diving to keep that puck in the offensive zone, Bollinger. They'll slide it to Peters. They'll get it right back to him. Snapping a shot that's gobbled up through traffic. Arnold not able to get his shot past the stick of the opposition. tripped up, tangled up. Here's Stocker going after it. Stocker feeds to the point, and a quick exchange, snapping a shot. Now a lane, and great job breaking that up. Connor McClure, otherwise it was Peter Mulder looking to tee one up. That comes through, tipped out of mid-air, nearly backhanded in by Bance, and he comes up with a steal, keeps it alive. Pressure building here. And backhanded by Henke, but can't get it out of the zone. This one will carry him off. We've got 32 seconds left in the man advantage. Mulder calling for it. He'll switch spots with Harper Bance. Firing a shot, and the whistle had already blown. It trickled through, trying to plead his case. Harper Bance, he will not get the benefit of the doubt. The official was Johnny on the spot, seeing that the net had come off. He came over to readjust it, got it set in time. However, the netminder held the puck long enough to get that whistle, and that's the human element of the game. Nothing that can be done once the official blows it dead. Even if he realized he shouldn't have at that point, for the safety of the players, they have to blow it once they think that puck is covered up, and he lost sight of it with 7 seconds left in the penalty kill, and Blue Army catches a huge break. Hauer out of the box, tries to feed that across. That's picked off by True North's McCann. Winding and spinning, a hip check thrown there by McCann. Slipping around is Hauer, and Hauer finished off nearly into the bench by McCann. McCann got a couple of shots on Hauer on that shift, and then Hauer heads to the bench, but has some choice words for the True North squad before doing so. 7:29 left to go in period number 3, and it's been a game of some great goaltending, some fantastic goals, few and far between as they've been, with a score of 2-1. Some physicality, and not without some controversy. To our left, a couple of goals waved off. One due to the net coming dislodged, the other due to a whistle being blown before the puck went in. Cutting off his man is Bartfield as he tangles up and ties up Collings. Collings back at the grind. Collings fires a tough angle shot, and it's in! Collings took the initial shot, and then Ben Spanier steps up and blasts it home with 6:58 to go in regulation. We're knotted up at 2 apiece. .10:02 time of the goal for Ben Spanier. His second of the tournament. The first was the first of 9 against My Edge. This one, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I'll go ahead and say it. Probably a bigger one. From atop the circles, Abrahamson slides over to his left and holds on to that one for Ashton Collings. That is his first assist and second point in the 4 games. And they will also give Alderson an assist. However, True North will have to buckle down here, as with 6:32 left to go, they are on the penalty kill, holding the call. It will go against Peter Mulder. This will come out to Grant Daylor. Daylor Makes a pass over to the left side. Bringing into the offensive zone is Cranky. Cranky feeds it back to Daler. He'll switch from right to left. Punched away by the blocker of Abrahamson. Sent a pass through the slot now. Nobody there. Into the slot, and True North gets a big clearance. Mulder has served half of the 2-minute sentence. He's hoping he's got to serve the full other 60 seconds. Spanier, the goal scorer moments ago, and he had a couple of good looks prior to that, and able to really take advantage of the fact that Seebeck, who's been outstanding all game, just didn't have the time to get properly set. Sometimes it's the slightest of openings that puck can find a home through. Bartfield atop, Zinda on the opposite side. They go to Bartfield. He'll slide it back over to the left side. And teeing that up was Andor. He'll head off for a change. Bartfield behind his cage, tries to leave one for Zinda. A little bit too much on it. And trying to kill it off was Bentz. They do that successfully. Inside the lane, taken by Arnold, was looking over his shoulder, hoping for an icing called, none coming. He'll have to play the puck. Taken down was Alderson. Waiting, dealing is McClure. He'll get it out to neutral ice. Not by design. Hoping to keep it in the zone, but couldn't. This will bank down and will be played by Henke. Ahead by Dose. Dose has that stripped away. And a check thrown behind the cage, slow to get up, but joining the action is Arnold. And a collision there to Cito, knocking the twig out of the hand of Collings. Collings is armed once again and ready to go. True North. And unable to get through, and a penalty on the way, tripping the call. Drawing it is Alderson, headed to the box. Grant Daler with 3:04 to go. True North trying to pull off the upset. They fell to this Blue Army squad by a score of 6-1 when they played earlier in pool play. And that result has no bearing anymore, as we're playing for the U15 championship. Abrahamson leaves it behind his net. And it was Skylar Seckerson that had to race back and prevent a shorthanded opportunity. Remember, Blue Army has struck once already, down a man. This will be sent the length of the ice, and quite a crowd gathering here. These two teams met yesterday on Rink 2 for a 1 o'clock puck drop. So now, less than 24 hours later, after that decisive 6-1 victory by Blue Army, True North trying to squeak by here in the closing minutes of regulation. 2-2 the score, 2:21 left on the clock. And they've got another minute 15 of a power play advantage that if they're not able to capitalize on, as this one goes in on the netminder and electing to hold on to it is Seebeck, you know they're going to kick themselves at failing to convert if this were to go to overtime, but we'll play it one day at a time, one shift at a time. Sent out front, not able to get it through. Chipped up and battling for it. Webster knocked off of it. This will be Bartfield sending it all the way down. Abrahamson and Cranky, the first one there, the opposition. Now Cranky. They'll get it back to the point. Henke through traffic. Cranky knocks it down, and it's chipped around the cage. Now True North with 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Coming in is McCann. McCann tries to feed it back. And with it is Henke. Sent right back into the offensive zone. Andor with it, long outlet pass. Daylor on his feet, 2-1, and he will join action. 1 minute left in the game. McCann into the slot. Alderson couldn't get the shot off. A collision, and because of the pressure on Cooper McClure, it throws off the timing. Blue Army offside at the line. 50.2 left. Could we be seeing a 4-on-4 overtime session up next? The crowd growing as word spreading throughout the Bloomington Ice Garden that not only the championship game at the highest level here of the Western States Invitational is close, but it is deadlocked and nearing an end of regulation. 25 seconds. Chopped out of midair. And picking up possession is Alderson. He feeds it over to the right side. That bounces just out of the reach of Matt Peters. Giving chase is Miller. Miller collides behind the goal line. Calling for it at the point. They won't get it. And this one will go the length of the ice for an icing call with 2.7 left. Perhaps an opportunity for one last bid by Blue Army before each team loses a skater, and we skate 4-on-4. They're drawing it up. A little bit too much time for Blue Army to pull the goaltender and have an extra skater out there. And it pinballs around at the right circle, and nothing comes of it. So we will go to overtime, and we'll keep it right here as we have shot totals from period number 3. Blue Army getting 8 for a 3-period total of 25, 7 from True North as they have reached 20 in regulation. Blue Army got scoring started in the second period. Dominic Hauer scoring from Ryan Andor 2 minutes into the period, giving them a 1-0 lead for Hauer. That was his third goal of the tournament. Eli Miller scoring his second, a shorthanded goal from Cooper McClure at 9:46, and it looked like True North had weathered the storm long enough, but that Blue Army was finally able to break free and get some separation. But just about 6.5 minutes later, Nolan Nenow scoring to make it 2-1 from Peter Mulder. And then Ben Spanier at the 10:02 mark of the third period. The assist going to Ashton Collings. and Caleb Alderson. 4-on-4 we skate. 3 minutes up on the clock and or on the draw. However, it is controlled by True North's Reynolds. Dumped into the offensive zone by Skylar Seckerson. Just out of the reach of Andor. Calling for it was Seckerson as he started to slide over on the left side. Big collision there. Bullinger sends his opposition to the ice. The players for the next game already lining up and watching, as we will have the U14 version of Blue Army taking on the Green Bay Gamblers, or the Green Bay Junior Gamblers, I should say. 2:13 left. Again, if we do not have a goal here at 4-on-4, we'll reset the clock for 3 minutes and go 3-on-3. Bartfield kicks it back to Andor. Andor through traffic, gets to the left circle. Exchanges, drops it off for Dose. Dose tied up along with Bance. Centering pass out front. Broke it up. They'll move it over from right to left. True North trying to connect on the long outlet pass. McCann had his stick lifted and then figured if you can't get a touch on it with your twig, at least get a piece of it with your skate blade and negate the icing. Again, we do not stop the clock here, so it was about 1:25 when that was sent down. Now 1:10 when the puck is dropped. McClure fires and a glove save, going low and dragging it right off the top of his pad. 53 seconds left in the 4-on-4 portion from the left circle. That never got through. Coming in is McCann. McCann fires a save. It kicked out, and Bance tried to tap it in from the opposite side, and it got away from him. McClure, sharp angle, and clangs it off the side of the post. Here's an opportunity. McClure opens up. He was the passing option. They can't get it through him, and that takes a carom off the top of the pad, then hit the netminder on the elbow. 12 seconds left. Will we have time for another puck drop? We'll find out here in just a second. It doesn't look like we will. And True North aided there by the fact that they didn't have 4 people out. So we will continue with overtime, but go to 3-on-3. 3 minutes of the 3-on-3 format that the NHL has gone to for their overtime periods. And then if we do not have a goal here, we will have to go to a 3-man shootout. Looks like Blue Army will elect to go with Hoylo, Henke, and Cranky. Spanier out there along with Alderson. This is swept away, and now Cranky tries to get there in time. It's knifed off by Alderson. Big collision in the corner. Leaves it 2-on-2 for a moment. Here's Henke. Fires one rising shot, and getting a piece of it with the glove as the netminder, sending it up and over the crossbar. Henke flips it back into the offensive zone. It doesn't stay there long. Alderson slams on the brakes, tries to go back door. Coming on for a change, Seckerson. Seckerson misfired there as he thought Alderson was staying on. Alderson in need of a breather. 50 seconds gone by here in this 3-on-3. High off the glass. And a wonderful job getting back and breaking that up. True North in possession. They'll feed it ahead. Cutting in, slamming on the brakes, stripped away. And here comes Jack Bartfield up ice. Makes the exchange to Cooper McClure. McClure winding, buying some time, allowing his opposition to get or his teammate to get back. Now in with it is Reynolds. A drive kicked out by the netminder. Held into the zone by Mulder. He'll work it deep. Bartfield withstands some contact from Reynolds, then hits the ice. Minute 20 seconds away from a shootout end for this U15 championship. Stepping up is Collins. Applies a little pressure. Andor tries to get around one man. Defended well by Arnold. Working it deep behind the goal line. And they'll get it over for Andor. He comes in tight. Denied! Eli Miller coming in and couldn't get that past the netminder. 43 seconds left. Last man back is Ben Spanier. It's a 2-on-1. Miller tries to feed it over. Spanier had it in his skates and reaching in. No call. That's tipped and just wide. Hoylo out there firing it on, and it's held onto by Abrahamson. As the shot by Miller. We've got 10 seconds left. 3-on-3. A timeout taken by Blue Army. And so we're going to put 7 seconds back on the clock. An opportunity here to prevent the running out of the clock. Blue Army elects to burn their one timeout that you have in bracket play in semifinals or championship games, something that was not afforded squads in the pool portion. And right now, Sean Erickson drawing something up. And it almost feels like if there were a little less time, you could see Blue Army try to pull the netminder, go for a 4-on-3. Less likely to do that with 4-on-4 than a 3-on-3. You really have a huge advantage going from a 4-on-3 as opposed to 5-on-4. But again, the last thing you'd want to do is see your tournament come to an end with the opposition just firing one into an empty net for the game winner. Andor on the draw. It's to the netminder's right. Steered into the corner. And they will tie up. And that will be the end of the second overtime period. And so the two teams will set up. We've got a cross-checking call here in the closing seconds. It will not affect the outcome in the sense that there is no time left, so nobody will have to serve the penalty. However, Cranky is ineligible to shoot because of the penalty. So we're not sure if that would have factored in, not sure if he would have been one of the three. And it looks like True North is going to defend first. Ryan Andor leads the tournament, 5 goals, 5 assists. Right-handed shot, he takes his time, goes wide left, picks up speed, comes in, and is denied. As the netminder, Abrahamson, puts the pads down and steers it into the corner.
Number 6, Cameron Bollinger.
Cameron Bollinger. 1 goal, 3 assists. Left-handed shot goes well wide left. Fakes and gets the goaltender to open his legs. Backhands it in. The can opener as Seebeck can't do anything but watch that one slowly trickle through. Ty Tucito. Right-handed shot. Comes in tight and is denied. He had some space to the goaltender's left, but the goaltender putting the stick down and held the pads firmly. This is a winner if it goes in. It's Dawson McCann. Left-handed shot, scores! And that is how the 2019 U15 championship is settled. Coming back after being defeated by Blue Army 6-1 less than 24 hours ago, about 23 hours ago, True North, down 2 in this game, forces the draw, sticks it out through overtime, 4-on-4, 3-on-3, and then they get 2 goals in the shootout. The goals scored by Bollinger and McCann are the difference. 2-2 after regulation, after the overtime periods. 3-2, True North is your victor. Again, quickly, Howard and Miller scoring for Blue Army in the second. Ninow in the second, Spanier in the third. The 4 goals. And then going a perfect 2 for 2 at both ends of the shootout. True North as Kyle Abrahamson comes up with the saves. Bollinger and McCann the goals. We're so glad you were able to join for what turned out to be arguably the best game we've had here at the 2019 Western States Invitational, and we'll see if the U14 Gold Championship can't top it. But the Western States Invitational Championship at the big level goes to True North with an overall record in the tournament of 3-1, an identical record to Blue Army's 3-1, but getting the victory when it counts the most. Greg Tinty, our camera operator, engineer, and producer. My name's Eric Zamora, and keep it right here. We will send it down ice level for the championship presentation. You've been watching the 2019 Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub.